Okay, what's going on, Grand Rising? Grand Rising, today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026. And what we're going to be looking at today is the futures market, specifically MNQs for executions. Um, and we're going to look a little bit at gold at the end and dollar index. So we'll look at gold here really quick in the beginning too, and dollar index. So we can kind of go over what we've seen. But as of for the NQ bias, give me 1 second here. Okay, so for the NQ buys, we wanted to see if possibly the overnight buys would respond off of this first candle that opened up the market open, which was the this candle here, as you guys can see on the far right. So we've come below that, and now we've come below the week low. And so you have sell side from London yesterday, you have sell side from the New York Open, right? We kind of pumped up, faked out, and then just fell over. And so then now we have a new low on week that's been delivered, right? So this was essentially the low of week right here, this 24,490 level. And now we're breaking the structure here like this, okay? So it looks like making a lower low. So for me, I don't like to come into markets like this and just short these type of markets. These are the exact type of markets I'm looking for, especially on a 4 hour directional play, to see price start to short cover and respond. Now, I'm not going to always be like, okay, we're going to short cover and respond and just try to only look for that move, because that's how you can get stuck. Um, still can produce, our multiples on the buys up like we did yesterday, but you're on the wrong side of like what you're trying to do, right? And so going into today, I'm going to be pretty patient. My goal is to be as patient as possible, and look for base hits, right? So like today, obviously I look for, 3R setups or 5R setups, somewhere in that range. And I like to, play it up 5 to 5R and cut it at threes. Like if you guys have been on the stream and seen that. But today, my goal, especially with futures, might just be to get a base hit of a 3R trade, right? Because what happens is, let me do this really quick. Because what happens is those 3Rs really add up, you know? So, but good morning, guys. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Chris. What's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys being here. Let's see if we can find something today. Now, I will say this, price is already reacting. So I'll go over that here in just a second, and then we'll be done analyzing here at 25. But taking a look at dollar index, remember I talk about this quite a bit. You want to know where the direction of this is going to go. And with this rejection above the 140 level, and we rejected this 150 level perfectly that we looked at, we have market open here at 142, right? We pushed down the first 2 days of the week, kind of like a fast pump up yesterday, and now we're starting to roll over, it seems like, back down to 99.50 or 99.70s. So that would be the reason why potentially we could be seeing anything XXX USD, back to my Forex days, be pushing higher, right? So like possibly gold, right? Because gold is XAU USD. So that could be a possibility. And then also with like a NAS 100, right? Stuff like that. NQ that we're trading here, we could see a pop higher because we're seeing the DXY start to find some weakness, okay? Make sure you mark up your QQQ, know where, that's going to open, and have an idea of where that's going to open. It looks like it's going to open below last week's low. So the individuals who have, option plays that are, looking to cover some of those positions or have their targets in these areas, I would think that could cause us, once we take that low and we're looking left into a major area of demand, that could make buyers step in under the 591s, okay? Now, looking at the overall market from this perspective, which is going to be our 4 hour perspective, let's go to our daily here. The thing about the new contracts is that you can't even see any price on YM farther than this, right? We've come down, if you guys have noticed, and we've taken the ES daily liquidity area low, right? We actually did that with this candle, but we've come in now and take that candle's low with this daily, okay? Now, when you look at 4 hour for direction, that's why I really like what we're doing already on NQ, right? Because we're responding inside of this massive level. We've come down and we've drawn on the liquidity of last week's low on ES. And this one is obviously in no man's land when it comes to the contract being able to see the looking left price, okay? And so with this one delivering and this one holding, what my game plan is to see is as we push lower into the 24,400s and possibly 24,300s, that we see short covering from the overnight. Okay, so what that would look like would be like this. Let's go to here now. Okay, so short covering from the overnight. So now as you can see here, price has went up, made a high at, really quick. Price has made a high, excuse me, at 24,726, and then we made a low, lower high, boom, another low. And so what I'm anticipating is that maybe that 24,400 level that we're at currently now is going to act as a level of support, because we did take that weekly liquidity. So let me make sure and mark this the way I want it, because I need to make sure it's different from a whole level. Okay, so understanding that we're lower low, lower high, and we're still like below that weekly low means that we could roll over, right, on that higher time frame, 4 hour, down to lower levels. Okay, and I'd rather play a little bit lower. But if they do hold it, right, here at the open, and we start to see, do this really quick, and we start to see covering, right, then there will be potential plays for us to find, right? I'm looking at small time frames really quick. Right, now I don't like that one as much, so okay, but I do like this zone in this area. Okay, so when we come back in here today, like for New York here in a second, in about 8 minutes, I'm either going to be looking for them to create some bullish structure on this side of this area inside the 24,425s. Market likes 20 levels, likes to get out of 80s. I'm going to look for a price to kind of hold this level potentially. But if we don't see a clear signal or just something that really fits the game that we want to play, then I'm going to wait for that rollover to 24,350s, 24,300 area. Okay, so that's pretty much the game plan. Just be patient. Wait till they show their hand and see what we can get. 24,350s, just marking those levels real quick. I didn't mark on all of them. Why not? 24,350. Half level. Okay, so I marked that 24, just so you guys can see this too, the 24,350 level. It should be more. It should be showing up over here. We'll mark it on here so make sure it shows up everywhere. 24,350. Okay. Okay, so we have that level marked. Now, like I said, because we've made such bearish price and we're making lower lows and lower highs and we're pushing away, we could be looking for shorts down, right, to 350s, 300s, and maybe even 250s. So let me mark that as well here before 25, and then we're done marking. Because, you know, obviously we can see the demand down here, right, 24, 250s. Okay, so like this candle here is what I'm talking about, going down to this level. So instead of being like, oh, I'm going to wait till it gets down there and then try to see the short covering and buy it up, sometimes based on how the price action is going to look, since we're already seeing lower lows and lower highs, we might be able to see a continuation down into this fair value gap area here. But it depends. Like I said, the first few minutes of the open, we don't have to force anything. We could wait till 9. Let's see if there's any news just really quick. I don't think there was. I think everything happened at 7:30. There is actually new home sales. So we'll be a little patient, you know. But if we see it, we'll take it. But that's kind of the bias, right? Like I'd rather see short covering, but maybe it's going to happen a little bit lower. So maybe we have to you know, maybe find that short down to the demand area and then decide if you want to take a trade, if you want to or not. If I hit my goal, then I'm done. I don't care if it's sell side or buy side. So, but that's enough for the rant part. We know what we're looking for. I'm going to move you guys to 15.5 window so we can focus, and let's get it. I don't need to know what'll happen next to make money. My job is not to predict, it is to execute. I fully accept the risk before entering any trade. Losses don't define me, they're the cost of doing business. I'm a consistently profitable trader because I follow my process. Grand Rising, humble trader. Grand Rising, brother. I'm also going to mark these. I feel like these half levels are going to have a lot of responses today, so mark those. Mark them over here too. Yeah, I do kind of like the response of that 5 minute, but today I'm going to be patient. But I do like how it's already forming with ES had already taken that week low. So that's the only difference on this one. But let's be patient because they like to raid that New York Open sometimes. We're just looking for just a little base hit today, brother. Chad. Just a little base hit. Okay, good thing. That's why I said stay patient before the opens. Now, the difference I'd say today, what I'm going to be focused on is if we are going to continue bearish. Remember, like I talked about, we have a lot of room to those areas, 24,300s. Depending on how this candle closes here, this first 5 minutes, I'm going to be really locked in on this fair value gap that they're creating, right? So like this 24,380 level, because if they come back like this, and just kind of fill this area and can't get back above, they'll roll over down to the lower levels, right? And so we'll be locked in for that too. But I really like where they're at higher time frame to trick people out of longs as well. So, but let me mark this area here once we get it. Right now, I don't really have personally anything that I'm working with on that. So. Just remember, always think higher time frame, right? That's what we're thinking here. How far can we dig into the special candle we're looking for? We're understanding where that daily wick and that low is. Because if they just push it really fast, maybe we'll find an imbalance short or fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, short to the downside. Or if they just run it too fast and we don't get a chance, that last week's low, if they deliver that, the buy off that's going to be crazy. So I'm going to be patient. That was a good extension down there to start, I will say. But let's see where this 5 minute candle closes, because wherever it closes, that's where I'm going to be focused on the fair value gap inside of it to see if they can fill that or how they're going to print. Okay. Okay, watching this area. We're in that area that I like for the higher time frame too, the 24,350s, but I want to see some 5 minute price that would put me in the door there. But 20 seconds left on this candle. I would say if it does continue to sell, anywhere from, let's see where it closes to where I identify with this box would be an area where the fair value gap could fill and continue to sell. Okay, so anywhere if it comes back, I would say into this 50% at this point, the 380s, if it starts to like, print like this, it could probably do that and roll, potentially. We'll see though. That's kind of what I'm eyeballing compared to like what we looked at yesterday. So watching the area tightly here. Now we're in the area for short covering too, so it's just depends on how it forms here. If I have a 5 minute sign of strength and then I have a 1 minute mitigations on the right side, I'd probably play it. But if it's just a fast move here right now, on 1 minute that I'm trying to frame, I'm probably not going to try to frame that me personally. So. I'd rather continue with the trend for a 1 to 3. So like something like this is what I'm looking at. Let me look really quick. I'm waiting for it. I want it to come back in here, but I'm kind of looking at small time frames for like something like, I'm just looking really quick to see what it looks like something like this. for like a 1 to 3 to the downside, because we're already pretty bearish. So you want those 340s. Like, you don't want your risk to basically go above the 5-minute high, because you're essentially waiting for that fair value gap play. But if it looks right to you, I mean, sometimes on that 1 minute it's not bad. But I'm not in this trade. I'm just looking at this area to see if they're gonna come back and fill the fair value gap or not. So let me move this out of the way real quick. Sorry. 1 minute price is looking more bullish. Let's see. Okay, we're in those 350s in that 4 hour. We'll see. Okay, I'm still going to be kind of eyeballing this 5-minute candle here to the downside. And what I'm doing is I'm reading 1 minute price to see if it makes any sense. But right now it's kind of looking like transitional, so that's why I'm waiting to see how they're going to print this 5. Just waiting. That 1 minute shifts in price delivery, then we'll be on the lookout for our buys back up. Okay, so that 1 minute shifts in price delivery, that's perfect. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I hope I didn't miss the midi buy on that. Alright, so we do have a low. Alright, let's see if they can fill this area. Because if they don't, it'll be just like yesterday, and then they'll start to roll over some more into the 24,003s to 250s. So I'm going to monitor this area, like I said. And I'm just drawing this box because I'm waiting for price to confirm over here. One minute looks really strong though, so if you guys are in buys, I wouldn't be obliged. Okay, now I'm watching this area, okay? Let's try to take a sell on the trading view window. Let's see. Yo, what's goody Tay? We're not in this trade right here, bro. I was just looking for maybe a fair value gap fill. I'm hoping I don't miss my buy though. I'm looking for that. It looks pretty beautiful. So that that imbalance is filled, and so waiting for this to see what they're gonna do. They're filling it right now, so this is the area I want to be watching. Move it up a little bit, it'll be like that. So somewhere. Alright, we want to know our 1 to 3s. It looks pretty bullish up to New York right now, so I'm still waiting. Now, if it just goes bullish and it responds in that area, then that's just is what it is. But 5-minute structure is not really showing me that yet, so I'm trying to stay locked in here. On this fair value gap play. I kind of like how the weakness is at 24.4, so let me watch here tightly. Okay, I do like that area. Let's see, we're just in a higher time frame area that shorts could cover, so that's why I'm being patient. If that 5-minute and 1 minute fail to get above 24.4, then that fair value gap play could be nice. But if they do get above that, then I'll wait. Watching that 15. Okay, cool. I'm looking at 1 minute to see if I see some structure. Right now it looks really bullish though. That looks like a short covering, which is exactly what I wanted pretty much. Mm. All right, still not sold yet on the buys. All right, we're above New York Open, so this is a better area of that. So if they're gonna do the buys here, then we'll see that shift on the 5 for sure. But if you did take those buys, that was definitely already a 1 to 3. So and more probably. Let me look at it really quick. Oh yeah, that would definitely be. But let's stay focused on what we're looking for. Sorry, because I know that the structure will pan out here. Need to be focused above New York Open, buddy. Okay, so like in this area, okay, if this area fails and rolls over, the low of day will be met. Okay, so I'm watching that 1 minute above New York here. I'll let you guys know if I'm going to short this. I'm liking shorts from the 430s. Let's see here. So I'm gonna just waiting. One more candle here. Still being patient here. Waiting for that 1 minute signal here. Still waiting on that 1 minute. Five minutes really strong, so there's nothing on the 1 minute right now. So if you're in those buys, if you take those, I would take them to above that 24,500. But I'm not in those, unfortunately. So still waiting on the area. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen in this area. If not, then the buys. If you took those buys, I would get out somewhere or just try your risk in those areas. But we're still gonna lock in here. Still waiting. Oh, okay. 1 minute, guys. Watch the 1 minute tightly. I'm watching 1 minute here because this is like my zone here. All right, I like those 30s, so I'm gonna attempt those 30s, guys, with the risk at the 5-2s. So it's kind of tight, but so basically attacking New York Open for the short. Okay. So if you had that original area entry, your risk would go right here at the top at that. Want to see if they can roll. They're pretty bullish though, but this is where they rolled yesterday. And then we'd be looking for our 1 to 3, obviously, and then our 1 to 5 would be low a day, I think. Okay. So I like this because of the wick low, but it just might be bullish because of higher time frame. Nah, let's see. It's close. That 5 minutes really strong. Let's see here. New York's pretty strong right now too, so we'll see. I like it though. It's starting to roll. Starting to roll. Let's see if we can roll over. Let's see. Are you long or short, Tay? On the YM plays. I think we're gonna get this low of day delivery potentially here. We'll see. Low of day, where's it at? It's looking very middle, I will say. I've got shorts from New York open, so with the stop loss right here, so. That 5 minutes looking too strong though right now. Let's see. Yeah, that 5 minute strong. If it can reject away from New York Open fairly quickly, then great. But if not, then it's starting to build inside that demand. That looks strong. We'll see. So that looks like it's going to be a scratch. Yeah, that's sad. So I will say this: the buy up I think was actually a lot better today. Unfortunately, let me see here. Plus where we're at 4 hour. Yeah, we hit our 4 hour area perfectly. They're not out of the woods there yet, but like the way that they engineered this wick to the low, that's a fast move. So I'm still watching this 5 minute area though, because we'd have to break structure here for me to think that we're actually bullish. So lock in here. But I'd have to see something on a 5 minute at this point. That's salty. I'll write this down really quick. H4 area, first 15 minutes. That buy might be off to the races. Nice. What'd you? Oh, you said you got in on. Yeah, damn, I missed it, bro. I'm salty right now. I feel like I'm salty right now. Yeah, that's taking off, guys. That's gonna rally. So let's see here. Let's see, where's the 4 hour? We'll see. We still got to break this area, but that 4 hour was a beautiful area to see something like that. So let me lock in here because I want to see if they're going to be able to break and close above this area. So sad, missed that buy though. ES is super bullish too on that H1. They're just so clean. Yeah, might have missed the bull move. Sad. Okay, so 15. Let's look at this here. That's a bully move right there. 5-minute dump, sign of strength, and then there's a 1-minute mitigation. Sad. So write this down here really quick. Alright, stay locked in on this area because I don't know if they're going to continue higher or not. Okay. So I'm watching this area on the smaller time frame as well. I don't know what just happened there. So watching the small time price action to see what happens first. I really want to see how this 5 minutes is going to close, if it's going to break higher or not. Because if they can't break that market, then they can roll over. But the 5-minute, 15, everything looks pretty strong. So. Let's watch him. Those 84s look interesting. Just watching this price to see here. Waiting for that 5 minute to close. That 5 minute close is bullish. Let's see what they do. Okay. Still not on that area yet. That's super strong. God, what a super strong day. So still waiting. There's nothing here. I was just looking to see if they were gonna hold that area. Okay, so now we're pushing back up into the supply. So if this thing just runs back for previous day low, then that's just a banger buy. I'm not even gonna attempt anything else at that, like, because I have that one scratch. So if we go all the way back up to here, 24,550s, I'll just accept the fact that I missed this side of it, because that thing was a rally. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful position. Up there. Now market open, like I said, will be a hot area here. Right, because the price will fill that area and fall. Let's see, that might be the area. There's a good 5 minute close as well. It's a good sign of strength, but Watching 15, watching that. I like that sell side, guys, back down into the range, okay? From these 20 or 490s. So even 490s back down to below New York, but that sign of strength close, right? That sign of strength close makes it difficult right here, but I would say this is a good area. If they didn't go up higher than this in the 15 minutes wicking, you could probably be short back to LOD. Okay, because at 5 minutes not really showing any, like it closed higher, but it, unless the price just continues bullish from right here, the 15-minute supply could reject in the 24,500 level, which it would look like this, or something like this. If you have if you're looking above those points of interest, like we like to look, then you'd be like something like this, and those 90, 93s, playing down back into the demand. Now I have one scratch, and then I took this one from those from that London Open. So if this doesn't work out, that'll be it for me. Just because I wanted that buy position from the 4-hour area, and I missed it on CFD as well. So I don't want to play too much into their hand. Yeah, that seemed like that buy was pretty easy. I'm salty. Wasn't buys on that bullish move just needs. Let's go, Chris. Yeah, that's why I said, like, I think it's we'll see here. I think there's still room to move up. Like, they can move up to the 550s, but it depends on this 5-minute candle. If they start getting weak here, then I think the rollover back into 24.4 could actually happen, because the 15 minutes starting to wick away. And we filled basically a 1-hour FEG at 24,500. So if the price can't continue to print bullish in that 1-hour FEG, then it might roll back to LOD. But they're pretty strong today. So, I mean, that was a nice bounce off that H4, H1. I'm sad, as you can hear. Because it's a typical play that we like to play. 5-minute sign of strength with 1-minute mitigation up to just even that spot right there would be perfect. And so, yeah, it's already looking kind of strong again. Let me look. Looking at 15. That 15 looks strong. 5 looks pretty strong. Everything looks pretty strong. So, we'll see here. I've got my risk at the high actually here, so right here. So if they clap me, they clap me. Let's see. They're coming for it. Yeah, they came for it. So that's 2 scratches for me, guys. I'm probably gonna call it one on that one just because I wanted that buy, and I'm just gonna end up being sad about it. So we'll take a look at the higher time frames though real quick. I'm salty. Let's see here. So we talked about this area, right? We talked about the 4-hour candle, the dump being below the 50. Damn, came right to our 78.6. And so overnight, like I was talking about, overnight shorts are gonna cover. When they cover, those buys should fill super fast. And so it just is what it is. I'm sad. Let me check ES too. Yeah, ES had already took last week's low, so we had that divergence. It's just terrible. So I thought we'd come a little bit lower. We didn't. Took that first setup, which was, let's see here. Took that first setup that was somewhat of like yesterday. They left a 15 minute wick low. They kind of showed the fair value gap as if they were gonna respect that fair value gap, and then they just rallied up. And then the 1 minute price was beautiful. You got a 5 minute dump, 5 minute sign of strength, and on that sign of strength, you've got, let's see here. On that side of strength, you've got a 1 minute mitigation back up. So it is what it is. That might be it for me today. Let me see where I'm at. Yeah. Watch when I close. Okay. Yeah, buys were easy today. If you got buys, you're golden. I'm just sad that I missed CFD too. So. What time is it? 9:02. Salty. Yeah, these are gonna take off. I'll continue to analyze here. It's like 9:15, 9:30. But I'm gonna take some notes here really quick. God, what a dump play. Still watching this area. I still haven't seen a break that I think is like completely legit yet. And the timing here. So let's see this 5 minute close. Because they're not outside of that 1 hour FEG yet. So the sell side from that market open could be interesting here, guys. Okay. Especially on the 5 minute, how it looks. We'll see how they do here. But everything's been super strong so far, so. I don't see anything yet. 5 minutes still super strong. Let's see. One minute still strong. 5 minutes still strong. Okay, give me a second. I mean, this thing could pump up to daily, but like I said, let's continue to watch here because they're still inside this area. 24. What is this? 550s. And then where I'm focused at really quick is just this candle, like this open. Because we're still inside that 1 hour, like I said, FEG. Let's see, let's price that right now. Okay, still watching. I think this area is going to be interesting. So, watching ES. ES is in a very similar area, so it's just we do have that strength. One minute still pretty strong, so still watching this area. Now, if they close strong here in like 2 minutes, then they probably go higher. But if they don't, then there's a chance they can still roll. Let me attempt. Looks like they're starting to roll over at that area on YM, the 4660s. Watching this 500 level tight, but price is still stacking pretty bullish. So I'm attempting that 500 level on shorts. And this will be my last attempt of the day, okay? Okay, so that's the last. That's my last attempt on short today. My boy, let's see. If we get that 1.5 to deliver, that'd be great, right? Let's see how this 5 minute plays here. See if it gets weak, right? Because they're all failing to break past that special candle on the breakout of their 15. So with that wick being a wick low, if 5 minute gets weak back into this area, so 24 450s, then great. But if it starts to kind of build back up, it'll just rally. But we'll see. One minute price is still kind of holding there. That's going to be it. No, that's going to be a scratch. It's very close. Oh my goodness. Salty. And it's close. Well, it's safe to say I missed the buy, so I'm gonna have to accept that fact here. And it just went through. So that's it for me today, guys. Can't win them all. Wanted that buy position from higher time frame, missed it, kind of tricked myself. excuse me, out of it, and then it just ran off. So no weakness. H1 looks beautiful. 4 hour looks perfect. So it just is what it is. Sad. So I'll do a trade review a little bit later today. I'm not gonna chase it. I'm gonna have to walk away. I'm gonna have to go do something else. But it is what it is. So good luck to you guys the rest of the day. We will look over that. We will look over the higher time frame really quick. All the positions bought up really well. So we talked about, ES taking that. Let me see here. ES taking that weak low, and congratulations, Chris, on passing your combine for TS. That's awesome. So they all come to the same area, right? We had the lows of no man's land on YM. We had last week's lows swept on ES, and then we had this special area that we talked about pre-New York for NQ, right? So price comes into the areas, right? Especially for NQ, and then you're going to anticipate that short covering. Now, for me on that move, like I said, I felt like we could, when you're looking at a 4 hour, I felt like we could come down a little bit farther, but really anything below the 50% of this 4 hour candle was going to be a really good short covering area. And so that's kind of like where I personally wanted, what was it? I personally wanted 400s. And so delivering those 350s, I said those half levels could be pretty interesting for today. 350s delivered, and then when we go back to our smaller time frame, you go back to the smaller time frame and you can see, right, obviously in hindsight now, just sad, let me move these out of the way. Obviously in hindsight now, you can see the 1 hour and 15 played out well, and then we got exactly like what we want to see on a 15.5. So we have the 15-minute wick, which a wick candle on a 15 is a 5-minute dump. So we got the 5-minute dump right at New York Open where price capitulates. So this is literally my go-to play. I'm kind of salty, okay, because it's literally all in the higher time frame area and everything. So 5-minute dump, you got the sign of strength, and then on that sign of strength, you got a mitigation play to go and break structure. So all we're really looking for in a situation like that is for price to get us in and then take us back to the most previous high. So looking at that setup. Sorry, I'm just kind of locked in on what's going on over here still. Locked in on this setup over here. We'll go over it. Sorry, I'm just watching the pricing here at the 15. Because they're still having trouble here. So, locked in on that price, basically, like I said, we wanted to see at least a push above here. Now, will they ever close a body above this purple dot? That's what we're going to stay focused on here today. So, I might still take a CFD, but I'm not for sure. I'm kind of sad about missing the buy. Everything's still pretty strong, so. So if they are bullish, they're going to close this 5-minute candle above here. Like if they're going to continue up, like if you're still in buys. And Chris, what'd you make that on? Did you make that on the buy up, or what'd you take? I'm liking how they're starting to roll down, but I'm just having to analyze here, guys, and mark up. I'm not going to take any more. But that 5-minute's still pretty strong, so I'm just trying to see. Yeah, it's sad. That buy was so easy. I'm so sad, honestly. I really am. watching the fives are still building up pretty good. Wasn't buyers on that bullish movement. That nice, bro. Yeah, I'm sad. I'm sad about that one. Can't lie. Can't win them all though. That's just part of the game. But I'm glad you were able to see that because that 5-minute dump candle was so clean. I was like, damn. And it was too clean, honestly. Too clean, my friend. So I'll probably watch her till like 9:30. Like I said, I'll kind of analyze. I just want to see how we're gonna do in this 1 hour FEG. If we're gonna hold up or roll over here. So basically, I'm just looking at this area. Because all of them are responding from this same candle on the 15. So if they can just reject down, I'll at least be happy that I was in the right area, even though I had to scratch. Because I felt like we could go to 24,300, but maybe we can, maybe we can't. I mean, we'll see. Those buys was an easier move from looking at the wicks. Yeah, bro. You're moving the sell earlier back. Yeah, good. Because honestly, like I said, I kind of tricked myself out of it. I should have waited a little bit. Like that 5-minute dump candle at the very beginning. I was like, they did that to us yesterday, and I was like, they're not gonna give us that, and then they did. So 4-hour area was in a perfect spot, so it makes sense for them to short cover there. Good take on it though. I like how they responded at the 500 level and market open to the downside. Or how they're pushing away at least. I mean, but they haven't really showed any weakness yet today. They've been really strong. I don't even have CFD. That's why I'm salty because they didn't give anything for the overnight. They obviously wiped the overnight buyers for sure. Everything's just still just holding up. YM, it rolled from that area that we talked about, so I was kind of show that really quick. I'm waiting to see what this is gonna do. They all came up, right? Like this one came up and filled the 1 hour fair value, drips. ES comes up, fills the 15-minute supply, and rolls over. YM, right, pushes off that New York as well, hits that supply, rolls. So the question will be now, will we roll over, right, going into the end of the day? Really nice. So this is exactly what I wanted to see, guys. So had to take the scratches on the futures, but ended up grabbing this on CFD, and so let's see if it can work out. Because it's either that or at this point it's going to go break even. But still a good learning lesson today is to focus on, don't lose focus on what structure's telling you. So that's lower low, and they just come up and fill that imbalance. A 1 hour imbalance is usually a 15-minute supply candle. Okay. Yeah, it should be. It should be. They all. I just went over that part today. They all rejected the supply candle and the 1 hour imbalances, which was perfect. So, good CFD short, thank goodness. Hopefully this is the one that goes down to 250s here, 300 or 300 250s. That'd be great. It looks like a really nice roll. And then my CFD short can go break even, but it's basically sitting here. So I took one at the 500, then I took my second one. So it's like basically one order in this area. So I'm essentially looking to play back to New York low. Also, I'm looking at like 50% of this candles area. But I really think we could roll over. They're all three rolling right now, so it's just now how they're gonna respond here at New York. They're inside a 15-minute demand, right? 5-minute demand. If they just get weak because the buyers are done and they've exited that position in the 520s, like 540 area, then we should roll over fairly quickly. And then really quick, looking at the other two, right? You have YM about to go take the low, right? So when you're looking at the 1 hours, these look like they just filled what? The breakout candle imbalance, right? Fair value gaps to fall. So this was a little too early on futures. That's all it was for me personally on NQ. But we'll continue to watch this really quick because I want to see how these 15s play. So the highest position I have on CFD is at 500, and the lowest is like right here at the 84s, and that one's break even. On NQ. You guys are seeing higher time frame. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yep, special candle too, right? We talked about that candle right here. It's like the trap candle. So the trap candle inside the 15 is going to be usually your 1 hour FEG. All right, so they all have that special candle, let's say. On 15s. So let's see if we can drip. We get that CFD to hit the low of day, I'll still be happy. US 30 bearish, LOL. I don't know who said that, sorry. Other than Tay. Now let's see if they're going to respond in this area like yesterday like we wanted, but today if they do, that'd be interesting. But watching all three, so if you're looking at it from this perspective, right, 15-minute here on the far right. Oops, now, didn't want to move that. Are they going to respect the demand and the point of interest, or are they just going to slide through it like the other two and get us down to lower levels? I would anticipate because of the other two, right, that we could fall, but we just got to see. Continue to watch here. Okay, really nice. So if we get the LOD sweep on those CFDs, if you guys are any of those shorts that we were talking about from the fair value gap area, then if we get that LOD sweep, I'm litty. If not, then it's break even. So we'll see how we respond here at New York. Like I said, with this big of a 15-minute wick, I feel like they could at least dig right into the 5-minute candles 50%, which is down here. Okay, before you start seeing any bounces. So if you sold anything above those 480s, right, I would say you're break even and you're just attempting to see if you're gonna get low of day or like somewhere in here in these 380s for like a 100 handle move. Okay, but I've got a little sinker to the lows here. Wanting to see how ES responds. That's a new low there, so that's good signs right there that they're gonna lower low, lower high, and they've pushed lower, and so there's no man's land again on shorts. So I would rather be in shorts here, personally, because of the structure. Right, structure tells you to go lower low. Right, price comes up, comes back, and comes to supply 360 level, sell side. All right, same thing with this. Like I said, I was just a little early. We'll go back to the middle screen so I can kind of go over it again. But waiting for price to get into the special candle, right? And then inside that special candle, there's going to be a 5-minute shift, which I think the best one was 9:15 to 20. And then you play that area here with stop at the high to go down. That's the better play to me of the day for the sell sides. So I just got caught trying to play it a little early without the sign of weakness. And then they wanted to run the stops first. So if you look at it from a 1-minute perspective, they're wanting to run the stops in those areas first, which creates like a 5-minute wick will create a fast 1-minute candle. And so you want to wait for some kind of push like that, the 5-minute wick to form, and then you get that next candle, which was, like I said, 9:15 and 9:20. You get the weakness sign, and then you can play inside that supply there with about a 20 handle risk to go down. So I still think for that CFD we're gonna get that low day sweep just because the other two have produced that almost very close. I'm gonna go back so we can look. It's just all how they're gonna respond at New York. Okay, so like looking at NQ from a higher time frame perspective, it's either they want that 4-hour wick 24 324s or they're getting ready to respect. But I really think because of this, right, they're showing weakness on this one. Yes, right, and they're already weak on YM, that we could at least roll down to lower levels. But New York open response, that's what we're looking at here. So I'm gonna go back to the window where what I'm actually looking at. All right, watching the response inside the 15-minute demand, inside 5-minute demand at POI, because that's how they easily run the price back up. So anything that if you shorted the 80s, I would be break even. I wouldn't let them come back on me on that for sure. So that's too bully. Good responses off that level. Let's push them back. So It's just bullish, guys. It's just super bully. Yeah, my CFDs are gonna break even, so that's definitely, I'm just on analyze mode now because I tried to sell that down, it didn't work, so it's like I'm getting midied at this point. Beautiful, dude. So again, like I said, 15-minute area, 15-minute wick down, which ends up giving you that 5-minute candle that we're looking for, and then so 5-minute candle that we're looking for like that, and then it just extends over. We did get the sign of strength. All right, we got this close higher, we have this low. So to see a pullback into this area was pretty good, you know. So I'm just out of the pocket on it, I guess. That's how I'm gonna look at it. You know, I'm not gonna try to take another trade because I don't want to go break even at this point. And so let's see if they break this market open area because we're still inside that 1 hour FEG. Same situation as yesterday. This is crazy. To better price action. ES is holding that low too. So let's look at this really quick. ES higher low. So, and then we have that break lower here. So. Yeah, I have no idea. Now I'm, yeah, I'll look here till 45, guys, because at that point, I mean, even though I missed my CFD buy, then I could have grabbed a buy here. I'm just like, pretty sad. That first one was a banger. It just was. Ah, so sad. This is gonna be the banger too. Oh my goodness. Check that 4 hour. The 4 hour is just a perfect area too. So that candle closing stronger with that 5-minute bar to me is like a really good sign of strength out of that area. I mean, we're still fighting inside the 1 hour FEG and the 15-minute supply. So it's dangerous, but you know, higher high here, higher low, and then a new high. It's kind of hard to see, but they do make like a little bit of a new high, I think, with the body close. So if you are in buy still, like say you're holding a runner, I wish I was holding a runner on CFD. If you're holding a runner, London highs. I mean, London highs is the next typical target. All right, that London high area potentially, or anywhere inside daily open, right? So London open, daily open, points of interest, all those are just bangers right now. Yeah, I'll probably watch till 9:45 and then go do something else because I mean nothing else I can do, unfortunately. Today at least. Like I said, they're still inside that FEG, inside that supply, but that's where the trickiness comes, I would say. Because they could definitely start to sell off like on this 1 minute here and get back down to here. But I'm just having to analyze. But what I'm really analyzing is the respect that we're seeing inside this level here. Okay. And that 1 hour FEG is filling perfectly if this is failing to break candles above these areas. I like it. That looks good, guys. Like I said, I'm just trying to not anticipate, but like see this 1 hour area, and then you got your 15-minute supply area where we failed to close any higher. It just makes sense to see them to sell off. Okay. So this is my second CFD play, but we'll see. 1 to 5s. 1 to 5s would be, where do you say? Yeah, 1 to 5s would be below the 420s. Anywhere below, like this falling super fast would be perfect. This is exactly what I'd want to see. Is people trying to buy it again after the 5 minute candle closed here, and then they just yerk them all in one spot here. Okay, I'm just reading what he said here. Chris, which one are you talking about? You're saying standard or consistency on the accounts? I was just trying to see what you were saying. So from that 1 minute area, I mean, if they come all the way back, they're gonna go bullish. I mean, that's just what they are today. So. And let me take a look at ES. ES is still responding off that same level, guys. Look at this. It's crazy. Right, ES still responding off the same level. YM. Right. And then we can look at this on the 15, but I need to see that hour. But you guys can see it's the same level, literally. Across the board. Okay, I'm looking at what you said. I would do the standard just because it's cheaper. Oh, your XFA or XFA. I thought you were asking a different question. Sorry. I personally only know the standard, I guess. So yeah, I would do the standard. I wouldn't do the consistency if you're asking for the payout stuff. Yeah, I would do the standard route. All right, CFDs, come on. We got a good entry here. So let's see if they all reject and continue lower here. I'm gonna be watching the 1 hours here, or if they're accumulating. We're gonna find out. What's today? Thursday. Today's my workout day. Sell side, come on, play out. They're still holding, so like I said, I'll stay on here for about another 5 minutes or so. I'm just trying to see if they're gonna capitulate here and get weak. So I'm gonna go back to middle screen just so we can watch that actual price action. Yeah, so if you're CFD short, it's more something like this. Was what I was looking at personally. Was when the 1 minute did this up here, failed to go break that high, and then I was looking right here, 1 to 3s. Alright, so like now, pretty much if you look at the higher time frame here, if you already break even from that area, I'm looking for the break below this area or back below LOD. But really would be nice back under here, back under the 5 minute demand. But the entry area is, like I said, on that 1 minute, the price looked like this. We had that 5 minute fast up candle we talked about, 930, 935, and then we started to see price roll over here in that 937 time and create that crown form. So it still might be a little early, like I said, but in a position like that, you're able to take it quickly. And then as soon as price presents like a 1 to 2, so like for this example, if price presents a 1 to 2, you should already be break even if you took it like anywhere in that area, just so that way you're not susceptible to risk. If the buys are going to continue to play out, obviously they'll stay strong on the right side of this candle here, and then they'll come up for those shorts as well. But that's what I'm wanting to read here going into 10 a.m. because if by 9, I'd say, like, no, I said 5 more minutes, but by like 10 a.m. to 10:15, we'll know in that first 15-minute window what's going to happen, if they're going to roll or if the buyers are going to step in here and create some support at 450s or possibly 400s. For the CFD sake, I hope it rolls. Yeah, so. And they just take that LOD. me finish some of my notes here really quick while we're here. Those look strong again, right? So ES starting to build like higher lows. Look at that 1 hour here. 1 hour still having a hard time, so we'll see. I'm gonna finish taking these notes. 8:35. First time 5 minutes on the straight. Man, today was supposed to be easy, guys. I made it hard for myself. I will say that, because that was an easy buy up after the dump. I'm sad, but I'm still gonna be taking some notes here. Watching this price here. Let's see how they're looking on ES. Is starting to look like higher low, and they're looking like a dump candle on YM. So it's interesting. This level is going to be interesting all day today. This 15-minute area. Is if they gonna hold it, or are they gonna come for these low resistance sell side areas? Okay. Now I need to check. So I'm just looking at something here. Second candle. Second candle. Okay. Okay. And those highs look terrible at this point. So anything that, let's say you took an entry in here, it should be going break even, because that's everything stacking. So I'm just taking some notes here really quick. 840, 845. ES was clean. Wow. So those are pushing up. So those low resistance highs right here, this one and this one, those look like a target at this point now. So just might be the bullish spot, you know. 44 to 45, okay, and 45 to 50. Okay, bullish medications. $8.50 to $8.55. 850 to 55. Okay, what time was that? Price delivery. Okay, still just taking notes here. That was 50 to 50, 50 to 55. Price testing the area. So watching here. So those low resistance highs look like they're like achievable, right? In the 24,550s. But this is where they manipulate inside of a 1 hour fair value gap and the supply area of a 15 like this. So it's right now, like I said, I'm just taking notes and monitoring the area until 10:15. But buys just look, I mean, like when you look at these here, right? These just look really good still to get delivered. And I think I missed the MIDI, so that's why I'm just kind of focused here. 905s. Everything's still so strong today. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, let's finish these notes here. So like I said, I'll close it out at 10:15. I'm just looking to see how price is going to present going into that time. But pretty much for me, I missed the buy that I essentially wanted. So, and then I missed the mitigation buy as well. I feel like the timing wasn't as great for that type of buy, but the location was just so on point that I thought it could be pretty good. So. That's sad. Especially if these run up like the rest of the day or something crazy. I'm trying to see here. Yeah, if they run up something crazy the rest of the day, I'm gonna be sad. Because to not get that on CFD is terrible. right? So those low resistance highs we talked about, those are getting demolished. So it's clear now, obviously, right, that we got the mitigation play, 4 hour, 1 hour dump, right? That fair value gap area was nothing. They pretty much cleaned it up pretty good before the session, and then 15-minute wick, which was at New York Open, which created the 5-minute dump candle, the sign of strength, and the RSV setup that we look for. Just happened to miss it, you know. So same thing with the other two. Now it's all about reading the price. I'd say ES held that higher low, and that this would have been a pretty good buy as well on YM because of the fact that you have the divergence, which they made that new low. 9:30 ramps up, probably traps traders, and then there was a good position in the last 15 minutes of the hour for some good R multiple, like right in this area, right, to go play back up to where we're going to now. Okay, and so for me, that'll probably be the end of the session, just because, like I said, I'll go over the trade review, the trades that I took, the scratches that I ended up taking today. I think I took one partial, but still was going to be a losing day. And then just how I missed that area. I just basically tricked myself out of the area. That's the simplest way I can put it. We wanted the 4 hour wick low. We wanted to see if they were going to draw a little bit deeper. I think I was expecting a little bit too deep of a pool. Like I was wanting that 300 level, but they came right to the 20 level, like we talk about, for the 324s, right? And that's a beautiful level to see. Now, if they ramp this thing back up from a 4 hour dump candle like this, the likelihood of it going back to where this started, right? Like, so like here's where it started, right? So you can basically draw a line from right here to basically right over here, which would be 24,765s, which would be right above our initial balance high of the day. So right in between both of those is 24,750. That could be an area where they end up pushing price, right? They're gonna get really really crazy with it. Now the other play, that's like if we go really high. Now this could be enough too, right? Because we're inside the special candle here when it comes to the supply zones. So that could be the area too where they start to roll over. But if they do want to break structure, then what they're going to do is they're going to reach higher than this old high here, right? So maybe they reach for daily open, maybe they don't, but I think that's a pretty good move for the day, okay? And so we'll see what they produce the rest of the day. But that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to now, is just to see how they respond in this area here. And then, obviously I'm going to go back and look at my notes over that mitigation buy and that first buy at New York. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll be on again tomorrow, same time, same place. So be on the lookout for the trade review today, and we'll see if we continue higher or not. But appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you guys here in a little bit later today.